is this in residency or when you leave, where did you start to see like, this isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be? And what did you do about that?
Yeah, like almost straight away, I started to, so it was really seeing it in residency, just how we were treating people. And what did I do about it? Well, I asked lots of questions, and that did not make me a very popular student. And yeah, I got in trouble in my residency. I was kind of labeled in many ways as maybe not a team player, a difficult resident to work with. And I felt that. So
I had the same, no, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I had the same thing. I had the same thing in law school, the same thing. And that's why I really was excited to have you on, because I don't know where we're going to take this interview, but I feel like, my work it marries the law, and we work a lot with, like I said, what I believe to be the medical industrial complex, and these institutions that I think were originally designed or had, good intentions, and how they've been basically bastardized to make people sick and to control them just like very high level. So, I think and then when you try and vindicate those individuals who have been taken advantage of or misled or injured, now we have the legal system that is not the same legal system that I went into, and what I thought I was going to be able to do with my law degree. So it's really interesting, and we're relatively the same, kind of the same age, to see that both of our professions kind of have the same, just the same. I don't know how to not demise, because they're still there, but just the same, again, disillusionment for both of us. So it's very interesting, and probably why I was so attracted to your work. So sorry. So keep going. So you're in residency, you're a troublemaker, you're getting in trouble for asking questions, but you successfully completed your residency, and you went directly to the FDA, correct? Is that?
Yeah. I did, because, so I was in residency with my wife, who was on the same wavelength as me. And I probably wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for her telling me to shut up. And she's just like, you simply need to get through this, because I guess I'm not a very corporate creature. I had to learn eventually, but yeah, you go into medicine and you go into law and you're interested in the truth. And I guess I was interested in things making sense. And when things didn't make sense, I would ask questions, and naively at the time thinking, oh yeah, it's good to ask questions. You're here to learn. You're meant to be questioning why we're doing things. But, being, and I've figured this out now, because I ended up working in a lot of corporations like the FDA, which I'll go into, that a lot of these institutions, whether it's medicine, whether it's the FDA, whether it's the pharmaceutical industry, all of these places where I've been, they, some truth oftentimes is not the primary principle. It's a very social place. It's about relationships. It's about how you make other people feel. And when you start questioning things, it may be challenge the status of some people. It may make them feel bad. It may make them say, oh, you're trying to say this person, or I'm doing something wrong. And they absolutely hate that. So I eventually needed to learn that, okay, it's not really a place that's that interested in truth. This is a place where they're trying to see who can play nice in the sandbox and just kind of keep the status quo going. And we're all here to kind of do a job. We'll play within these lines, and we'll leave at the end of the day, even if the patients aren't really benefiting. We're just kind of going with the flow. And so, there's a kind of a, it's bad to say this, but I went along with that because I was just like, I saw the writing on the wall and I needed to survive. And so I'm just kind of practicing like everyone else, just going, what are we doing here? And thankfully I had some professors who I could talk to and say, I'm really worried with the overprescribing and the side effects. And they let me do research. So I was doing drug research with them. I was publishing textbook chapters and articles, and someone introduced me to people at the FDA and in the pharmaceutical industry. And then actually after residency, I went to the pharmaceutical industry first, to Janssen, who's the pharmaceutical arm of Johnson & Johnson. And I did drug development with them. And after that, I went to FDA in the Division of Psychiatry. And really the kind of the overarching umbrella between this going into the pharmaceutical industry and the FDA was a desire to know, well, how does industry investigate the problems with the drugs, and how do they communicate that to physicians to look after patients? And then how does FDA regulate, and how does FDA watch the pharmaceutical industry and keep them accountable? Because those were things that I couldn't really make sense of at the time in residency, because you see something happening and you're just like, this is wrong what we're doing. And then it's like, how could this be possible? And so I'm just like, well, I guess I'm going to go there and see what's happening on the inside of these places. And that took me there.
I love it.